What if you could actually make hard work feel, well, addictive? I know, it sounds kind of crazy, but we're about to dig into a method that completely flips our whole idea of motivation on its head. It all comes down to understanding how dopamine really works, which is probably not how you think it does.
You know the feeling, right? You've got that big, important thing you have to do. You tell yourself, okay, just do it, just get started. And yet, there's this wall, this massive resistance. So why is it so ridiculously hard to just get started, even when we know we have to?
See, the thing is, it's not about being lazy or undisciplined. The real problem, you're stepping into the ring for a fight you didn't even know was happening, a fight against your own brain's powerful, automatic predictions about the task ahead.
And here's the kicker. That internal prediction system is incredibly strong. It often decides whether you're going to succeed or procrastinate before you even type a single word. So just trying to brute force your way through it, that's almost always a losing battle. We need to get smarter.
So, to figure out that smarter approach, we first have to bust a huge, massive myth that most of us believe about what drives us, and it's all about a chemical you've definitely heard of, dopamine.
Okay, so most of us think of dopamine as the feel-good chemical, right? The little treat you get after you accomplish something. But that's not the whole story. The reality is, dopamine isn't really the reward itself. It's more like a learning signal. It's your brain's way of figuring out, hey, was that worth doing again?
And this is the part that changes everything. Dopamine is all about surprise. Did things turn out better than you expected? You get a spike in dopamine. Did they turn out worse? Dopamine drops. It's constantly tracking the gap between what you predicted would happen and what actually happened. And it uses that info to update its rules for the future, all without you even thinking about it.
All right, so if dopamine is all about predictions, how does this whole system end up trapping us in procrastination? Let's get into it. So, picture this. You sit down to tackle a big project. Your brain isn't just a neutral observer. Nope, it's already made a prediction based on all your past experiences, and that prediction usually sounds something like, oh, this is going to be slow. It's going to be boring, and it's definitely going to be hard.
And that right there is the real struggle. Once that negative prediction is locked in, you think you're just trying to do the work, but you're not. What you're really trying to do is fight your own brain's forecast that this whole experience is going to be unpleasant. And here's why that's such a vicious cycle. Let's say you actually push through it, and the work isn't so bad. You think that's a win, right? Wrong, because it didn't blow your negative expectation out of the water. Your dopamine doesn't really budge. Your brain just logs the activity as, meh, not worth repeating, which just makes it even harder to start next time.
And just to be super clear, we're not talking about a vague feeling here. This is a real, structural process in your brain. It's got this built-in prediction system that's constantly deciding what's worth your energy. And it's all based on how reality stacks up against expectations.
Okay, so if fighting the prediction is a losing game, what do we do instead? Well, we stop fighting the system. It's time to learn how to rewrite its rules from the inside out.
Think of it like this. Using willpower is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. You can do it for a little while, but it's exhausting, right? And eventually, it's gonna pop right back up. That's because you're fighting the basic physics of the situation. Rewriting the prediction, on the other hand, that's like changing the density of the ball itself so it naturally sinks. You're not fighting the system anymore. You're changing the system for good.
So here it is, the core insight. The real secret isn't about dangling a bigger carrot at the end of the stick. The real move is to change the expectation before you even start. You have to teach your brain to anticipate a reward right from the get-go.
So how in the world do we actually pull that off? We're going to build a new, powerful, self-reinforcing loop. Let's walk through a practical, 4-step framework to make this happen.
These 4 steps are designed to work together to systematically rewire your brain's predictions about hard work. So let's break down what each of these really needs.
Step 1 is all about creating a pre-work ritual. And notice the word pre-work. This isn't about the reward you get at the end. It's a cue before you begin. Maybe it's putting on the same song, doing a specific stretch, whatever. When you do it consistently, your brain starts to build an association. It learns, oh, that song means something good is about to happen, and you get a little dopamine hit before you've even started.
Okay, step 2. Here's a secret. Your brain doesn't hate hard work. It hates unclear work. A vague goal like, I'm going to work for 2 hours, feels endless and costly. But a super specific tiny goal like, I am going to open the document and write 3 lines,
Well, that's different. Your brain can easily see the finish line for that task. It predicts completion, and that prediction itself gives you the momentum to start.
Step 3 is huge. If your brain doesn't get feedback that you're making progress, it just assumes you're spinning your wheels, and your dopamine will flatline. You have to make progress visible, obvious. Checklists are amazing for this. Timers, progress bars, even just watching your own pen move across the paper. Every little checkmark becomes physical proof that your effort is paying off, and when the brain sees that proof, dopamine starts to climb.
And finally, step 4. This one's a bit counterintuitive. You want to make your rewards unpredictable. If you get the exact same reward every time, your brain gets used to it. The surprise is gone. But when the brain isn't quite sure when or what the reward will be, it gets super curious. It pays way more attention, it stops obsessing about the finish line, and actually gets hooked on the process itself.
So, what happens when you put all of these pieces together? Well, something really profound starts to shift. The focus moves away from the finish line and onto the simple, incredible power of just starting. And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. After you run this new loop enough times, your brain literally rewrites its own rules. The good feeling, that dopamine rush, it actually moves from the end of the task to the very beginning. Starting is what starts to feel good, not just finishing.
And that's the end game. The whole loop just starts to run on its own. You don't have to have that internal debate with yourself anymore. You're not trying to find motivation. It's just what you do. It's become a conditioned response, not a daily struggle of willpower.
So let me leave you with this thought. We spend so much energy trying to psych ourselves up for the entire hour of work. But what if that's the wrong way to look at it? What if the entire battle is won or lost in the very first 5 seconds? What if engineering a reward into just the start of the effort could change everything that follows?